So, Michael, we're in Florida, the Sunshine State. That means we got incredible weather a lot of the year, which also then leads to we have a lot of motorcyclists on the roads. What factors impact motorcycle accident settlement amounts?
Well, you're certainly not wrong. I mean, I'm sure as any Florida driver has seen a lot of motorcyclists on the road, and that's a great thing. We in Florida want people to come down and have the opportunity to, enjoy their passions. But motorcycle accidents are their own animal. I mean, they are a specific breed of personal injury law. And things that factor into the settlement value of a motorcycle accident are things such as liability. I mean, that's a huge one. Who is at fault? Because, even if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, sometimes it is the motorcyclist's fault. But so that's obviously a huge factor in it. But the other factors are insurance coverage, damages, meaning the injuries themselves, things like lost wages, future medical expenses. All of these things play a huge role in the settlement amount that you can recover from a motor vehicle or a motorcycle accident.
Does it matter if the rider is wearing a helmet or not? Does that affect the case?
It does. A big part of these cases, and as you probably imagine, motorcycle cases, you're exposed. It's not like being in a car where you have essentially a cage around you that gives you an additional support and additional layer of protection. So a lot of the time on motorcycle crashes, they lead to head injuries. And as you can imagine, if you're claiming a head injury, but you weren't wearing a helmet, you could foresee that the defense, the other driver, their attorneys are going to pin at least some what is called comparative fault on the motorcyclist for not taking that extra step, that extra precaution to essentially protect their head.
Yeah, makes sense. Wear your helmets.
Right.
Wear your helmets.
Yes, wear your
Makes a
helmets.
difference. If the driver who hit them says they didn't see the motorcycle, how does that play into a case?
So that plays into almost every single motorcyclist case. You can imagine that that's a huge defense, a huge line that comes in on basically any case, but it's not an excuse. Florida drivers have a duty to drive their vehicle with reasonable care and ensure that they have a duty to protect those around them. And that includes ensuring that you are paying attention to your surroundings, checking all your mirrors, checking your blind spots, all of those things. And especially in Florida, like you mentioned, we got a lot of motorcyclists. So every Florida driver should know that they have to take extra precautions and make sure that they're looking out for motorcyclists.
I imagine a lot of Farah Farah clients are lifelong riders. Have you ever seen a case that really shows how much these accidents can change someone's life?
I have. Like I mentioned, a lot of the time in these motorcyclist cases, head injuries are a big thing. And head injuries can lead to lifelong issues, memory loss, forgetfulness, things that you take for granted in your everyday life. I've seen cases where the client has lifelong injuries, lifelong issues with memory, things like that, where, basically from the time of the accident forward, they're writing down notes. They can't remember to, like simple things before they go out the door. So yes, I mean, there are some significant impacts that motorcycle accidents can have on clients and their, in the future.
What's one thing you wish every motorcyclist in Florida understood before getting back on the road?
I think you touched upon it earlier. Wear your helmet. I know that it's one of those things that it's much more fun to feel the wind in your hair, but truly wear your helmets. It is the difference between, honestly, sometimes life and death.